Good morning, happy Friday to you. My name is Tracey Campbell. Welcome to My Sweet Home Living and Craft on the Clock this morning. We are kicking off a fun-filled Friday just for you over there in the group. Today is Scrapwood Craft Day, and we are up with the chickens this morning. I hope that you can come and join me. If you're not with me live, I would love to have you on the replay. I do want to make sure that we have our camera flipped around the right way because we're going to have some words today that you might want to see. There we go. Now you all chime in and let me know who's here. Good morning, Miss Barb. The rooster has not even crowed yet this morning. I just let him out of the coop. So we'll see what time it is when he lets out his first crow. He is making himself known in the run this morning back there. You might catch a glimpse of him this morning, or one of the ladies. Good morning, Miss Shell. It is coffee time, right? I am going to make sure that we are getting shared over to the Craft on the Clock group because we're going to have lots of friends over there waiting for us today. If not early this morning, replays, yes, we'll be there in the featured section all weekend long so that you can come back and watch the replays throughout the weekend. And let us know that you're here. I hope you enjoy the day. And we're going to have some good projects. I just know it. I just know it. So come on in. Good morning, Miss Denise. How are you? Miss Esmeralda, good morning. So raise of hands. Who's still in the bed? We're in for some, oh no, yes, oh gosh, yes, the weather is probably moving up north your way, Miss Mayor. Yes, you're right. Listen, ladies, you all know, if you're on my Telegram or on my broadcast channel, I sent out a late night message last night telling you that I was going to be live this morning at 6 a.m. Yes, hey Miss Thea, hey Miss Sue. Good morning from Michigan. How are you? I've had this project sitting around forever. So, right, how many of you are like me? You have projects that you want to do, or you may have seen someone else do, and you get everything that you need? There we go. 6:05. He says it is morning time, rise and shine. Have items or supplies waiting for you to complete a project, but you never get to it, right? Yep, that's me. I've had this project sitting around forever because my friend Frances from Vine and Silk Designs, I had seen her use a stencil. It's been over a year ago, I know, and I loved it. And so I went to purchase this stencil that she used, and it has stayed rolled up. It has stayed rolled up in the mailer this for this long. I'm embarrassed almost, really. It has went through the move with me, right? Yep, I'm never to finish. Well, I'm usually the one right there with you, Esmeralda. So I'm going to challenge you today or this weekend to pull out a project that you've been pushed away that you have pushed away to the corner, and using it. Get it out. Start it. Finish it. Whatever you need to do. I'm challenging you this morning to get one of those projects out. So, Miss Liz is supposed to be up after me, I do believe. I cannot check my schedule right now, but she just sent me a message that I think she is sick, if that's what I'm gathering. So, we may have a little extra time this morning. Procrastination, right, Mary? I know, right? I'm the world's worst procrastinator that there is. So, let me show you the stencil. And I don't even use stencils hardly at all. I've been wanting to start using some. So I thought, well, Tracey, before you buy new stencils, you need to use the one that you've had for over a year. So this is for myself as well. I don't even know if you all can see this. I purchased this design on Etsy, and I'll show you. It says vintage. There you go. You can kind of see it across the top of my shirt. Vintage garden. And I'm using a scrap piece of barnwood to make a vintage garden sign that I want to hang on the side of the fence right here as part of my chicken run decor. Good morning, Miss Carol. How are you? So we'll see. If you choose to look for this stencil, I can't promise you that it's still available. It was something I purchased off Etsy. I would just recommend going to Etsy and searching vintage garden stencil. I know it came in lots of different sizes, so maybe you can get one to suit your needs. Okay. And I'm going to be looking to see who's here in the comments. I'm hoping that Miss Liz or one of the ladies, hey Miss Joanne, that is in our lineup today can give me an update on Miss Liz's time frame, because I do not remember if she was scheduled after me or not, and that'll let me know if we're going to have extra time or not today. Okay, I have my pockets stashed full of screws, ink pens, all the random things that I might need for this project. I grabbed on the way out the door this morning. I even had to pack my lights out this morning because it wasn't quite as bright out here as I thought it was going to be. At 6 a.m. Miss Sharon, I love your heart too. I'm so happy you're here this morning. Well, I can't even get, there we go. So I can't get this one open to even put these screws in there, because I know if I sit them on my table, they're going to roll off. They're going to roll off to the ground. Let's do a quick check. How do I know what length of screws I need? I'm going to take my screw and I'm going to hold it up to the side of my wood piece here, and I'm going to look to see. I'm going to compare it to the depth of my wood. It has to be long enough to go all the way through my wood piece and into the back mounting piece that I'll put on here. And I think, yeah, these black ones will do the trick. Okay, so this piece of barnwood is not super thick. These are wood screws. Let's see, it doesn't say 1 1/8 inch wood screws length there. All right, so I'm going to measure my piece of barnwood here. This is my piece of scrap wood. Now, it is literally scrap wood because it's coming apart. I don't know if y'all can even see that. It's coming apart right there. I mean, not all scrap wood is old wood, but, who can throw away a good piece of barnwood? Good morning, Miss Cynthia. How are you? Good morning, Sandra. Oh, Tom is raring to go this morning. He is just wanting to say good morning. How you doing? Cock-a-doodle-doo. I'm the run of the roost around here. Who's just going to keep talking all morning long. Hey, Trish. First time watching. Well, welcome in. I'm not usually live at 6 a.m., but here we are. Kicking off the day for Craft on the Clock, you guys. Best kind of wood. Right, Sandra? So I'm going to measure this length, and this is like right at 49 inches long. I want to cut this piece of wood in half. Good morning, Miss Joanne. That's right. Can't throw away a good jar either, right? So I am going to cut this at 25 and a half. That way I can get two pieces that are equal. I hear you, buddy. I hear ya. I don't usually let them out this early. And I'm just marking this at the top and the bottom. That way, when I get my saw out here in a minute, we'll have clear lines of where we want to cut this piece. All right, that's the only measuring job we'll need today. Okay. Now, I have my piece of wood marked. Now, we got to use the power tools this morning. Good morning, Miss Cynthia. How are you, sweet lady? I hope you're having a good day so far. I know it's bright and early. Probably haven't even hardly got your day started yet. But I'm wishing you a good day today. You're going to remove a trim from the garage. Repurpose it into a garden cart. How awesome is that? I love that idea. Hey, Miss Francis. Well, let me tell you, Miss Francis, I'm so glad you're on here. I don't know if you caught me a minute ago. I was just talking about you and how this project is inspired by you. Miss Francis from Vine and Silk Designs, she does not have her page operating anymore. She has decided to close her page, but I tell you, she is a sweetheart and she is an amazing, talented lady. And this was the stencil that I'm using today, which I saw you use on a project a long time ago. I purchased it and I've yet to use it until today. So my design, my stencil design is, I need 2 pieces of wood to make this. We're making a vintage garden wood sign. And we got 130 of y'all in the house this morning. Okay, so I'm going to slide my wood. I want to make sure that y'all can kind of see what I'm doing here. I am going to hang my wood off of the edge here. Horsefly included. Get out of here. No, that's not a horsefly. I don't know what that thing is. Not welcome here, I'll tell you that. I think I'm going to slide it over to this edge. Now, I may have to, let's tilt the camera that way, shall we? So y'all hold your eyes for a second. Miss Esmeralda, there's my creeping Jenny right there. You see right there. This is sweet potato vine and a flowering bean vine and, oh goodness, the other word has just left me. Amandavilla vine. Yeah, some of it's blooming, some of it's not yet. My flowering bean vine is the white. Is that the blooms right there? Yeah. The white blooms that you see right in there. You may not be able to see it real good. We're just a little bit far enough away to where it's not going to show. Okay. Y'all still can't see. Oh, well. Let's just move this camera a little bit more. It's sweet potato vine. Yes. Tom? Hush it, buddy. All right, I'm not going to be able to get it in the screen right there. There we go. There we go. All right. I do say use caution if you're using power tools, okay? I just pulled mine right out of the shed and it's got cobwebs all over it because I haven't used it in so long. All I need to do is cut this piece of wood in half. So, let's line it up. You all hold your ears or turn your volume down for just a second. Here we go. All clear, we're good. Hey, how are you, ladies? Okay, I know y'all are popping in here. We're making a we're making a wood sign for the garden, but it's going to be vintage style. Now, I will say, when I was cutting that, I did lose that little splinter right there on the edge, which is totally okay with me. I don't need that little spot, and I kind of like it. There you see some girls back there hanging on the roosting bar. We're going to be just fine with the way we have it. All right. Now, this piece of barnwood actually has a little bit of a tongue and groove. Tom, quit trying to steal the show, buddy. Well, I must have not measured right or didn't cut right. That happens when you're talking and crafting or talking and doing things at the same time. But that's okay. I'm going to like it a little bit wonky, and I think I'll go ahead and make it that way, and then I'll cut off the excess later. How about that? I do have a couple of spots in this wood that have a hole. I don't know if y'all see that, but I've got a little knot that was in that wood that has fallen out. All right, we're going to go with it, and I'll trim it up in a little bit. How about that? Hey, Miss Angie, how are you? Okay. Now, I need to make sure that this does not get put on backwards. And I do know something I have forgotten to bring out with me, which was tape. I need to bring a little bit of tape out here to tape this stencil down. So we're going to have to see what we can do without it. I've got a couple things I can sit down on it to kind of hold it into place, and hopefully that'll be good enough for what we can do with it this morning. All right, I'm going to I'm doing this with chalk paint. I will go back and give this a real good coat of some sealer. But you know what? I'm okay with this. This is vintage. It's going to be like an old farm sign, sort of. I'm okay if the ink or the paint fades and chips away. Good morning, Miss Sheila. Miss Sheila, I'm glad you're on here. Would you check the schedule that I sent in the group chat and let me know if Liz was following me this morning? If so, I think she has woke up sick, so I'm going to go a little bit longer to take up her spot. Hey, Miss Pat, how are you? Miss Pat's going to be on this morning. All right. So I'm just using an off-white, and I'm going to put some on my brush. I don't know if y'all can even see what I'm doing. Liz is next. Okay, thank you, Miss Cindy. I appreciate you, friend. And I didn't see you on here, so thank you so much. Then we'll have a little bit of extra time this morning. That's okay. And we send well wishes to our friend Liz this morning. I think she woke up sick this morning. Okay, I'm just brushing off, or wiping off, rather, the excess paint. I want a dry brush, okay? I do know that much about stenciling. I'm not a pro by any stretch of the imagination, but I do want this kind of vintage feeling, and I don't want the paint to bleed under the stencil. So let's see if we can do this. Let me tilt my camera down because I want to make sure that you all can see the table. So hang on. We're a little bit angled. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now you all can see what I'm doing. How about that? Okay, I do want to make sure that I have it set so that I don't have to move it while he's being a booger. He likes to do that. He's a show off. Okay, I'm making sure that this is not going to wobble too much while I'm working on it. I could go ahead and screw this together, but we're gonna go with it. We're not perfection around here. Good morning, Miss Cindy. My camera is a little bit sideways this morning. I wish I could get some of those stencils. Kathy, I bought this off Etsy. There's lots of designers on Etsy that will have stencils for you that you can purchase. I may have a little too much paint on my brush. I don't know. We'll see. I know you want to go light rather than heavy. So I'm hoping that I am making my fellow stencil ladies proud. I hope I'm not making them cringe. Good morning, Miss Pam. Hey, Karen, Roberta. How are you all? I hope you all have an amazing Friday and an amazing weekend. You all, if you have time today or over the weekend, the replays are going to be there in the group, but all day today, Scrap Wood Craft Day over in the group. Watching from California, it's 4:15. Good morning to you, Miss Nancy. How are you? So happy to have you here. I hope you're still in the bed. I hope you're still in the bed. And all I'm doing is I am pinching this down. I'm pushing it down to kind of make sure that it has good contact with my surface as I go across the board. And I chose this white because I feel like it's going to kind of blend in with my wood. But I don't want it, I didn't think black would work. Black kind of fades, you know, your eye just kind of, black just fades out of your eye. You know what I mean? Like, if you paint something black, it doesn't show up as much. Black is more for a shadow. Hey, Becca, how are you? Hey, how are y'all? We got 174 in the house this morning. Well, there are some early birds. Some early risers this morning. And my stencil has a little bit of an intricate design to it. So for some of these letters, I'm just going to pounce instead of rubbing. I don't know. The good thing about this is I can add as much or as little paint as I need to. I just might have to do a couple different coats of the paint. You know what I mean? But I feel like this letter right here, this G, has an insert on it. And if I rub my brush in a circular way, it wants to pull that little piece up. So I don't want to do that. So pounce on the little intricate parts of the stencil. And let's just kind of pick it up and take a peek. We have that first work done. Ooh, can y'all see that? You might have to swipe your comments. I don't want to move the board. But I like that. It's just something really simple. And it says farmhouse country to me. says vintage garden to me. I want it to look like a sign that has been out in the weather for a long time. And I think that's exactly what this is going to give us. I love it. Okay. So, tell me what y'all are doing. Hopefully you're still in the bed. What you got planning today? Are you going to be watching today? Let me get my mic cord. Who has some scrap wood that they can do something with? Or, like I said, if you have a project that's been sitting in a corner waiting for you to finish or waiting for you to do, I'm challenging you to get it done this weekend. Alright, so some of this little part of this side of the stencil is a little delicate too. Part of the stencil wants to move around on me. So I'm just holding it the best I can with my fingers as I go. And this dry brush will be very forgiving. I do know that. It will be very forgiving. And the technique itself will be very forgiving because it's going to give us that weathered wood look. Okay, let's lift this side up and let's look. That's going to look pretty cool. That's going to look really good. Okay, let's keep going. And then I'll show you how I'm going to put this together, and I'll show you where I have in mind to hang it. So everything I'm putting out here in this little garden area is very rustic, okay? Have the day off and lots of scraps to play with. Barb, you're in the right place. Gonna watch Crafting the Clock and do laundry. Okay, that sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan. I will be watching too throughout the day while I'm doing things. I do have some outside things planned today, but usually I kind of set up a little station outside, and I'll set my phone up, and just like we're doing right now, work on some projects and have my phone propped up so I can watch throughout the day. And I'll even do that when I'm in the house doing work too, like laundry or dishes, or no matter what I'm doing. I usually have an iPad or something propped up so I can watch throughout the day. And you can even cast your videos onto a smart TV. If you have a smart TV, you can even do that. Okay, we're almost done. How about this? This is going to look so cool. My first stenciling design. I'm a newbie. Okay, now we got to get this word garden, the rest of the word garden filled in, and I need just a little bit more paint. All right, my cord there. I have the last 4 letters of the word garden left to stencil right on here, and then we'll reveal and put it together. All out of a scrap wood piece of barnwood. Scrap piece of barnwood, that's what I should say. Okay, now this little letter right here is kind of tricky because it's right where my 2 pieces of wood kind of meet up. So I've kind of got to be a little more particular with detail right here to make sure that I can carry the color from the top piece to the bottom piece, because there is a little gap in between my 2 pieces of wood, and I'll show you that in just a second. All right, almost there. We're on the home stretch of this little stencil. And I do know that this stencil came in different sizes. So depending on what size of sign you need to make, you can get the size that fits your project needs. That cord getting in the way there. Alright, I do want to make sure that this corner stands out really well. Need just a little bit more. We're almost finished with this stencil. And we'll see. Y'all can grade me and see if I am a true newbie or if I've watched enough stenciling videos to say that maybe I could have fooled you. Or maybe it's so easy that you would give it a try yourself. How about that? Okay. I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to wrap that up. All right. I'm going to grab a drink. Good morning, Miss Shar. How are you? 200 ladies in the house this morning. I got to grab a drink. Sorry. It's getting a little humid out here this morning. Okay. Let's pull it up. Woohoo! Look at there. I'm going to hold it up for you now. I'll take this in and I should be able to wash it up. Pretty easy. Okay. Now we have not put... Oh, hear him back there, right? Good morning. Sawing wood. I know. I've already had the saw out this morning. So let me turn this around so you can see. Hush it, buddy. There we go. Right there. That's going to be pretty, isn't it? Oh, yes. I love it. I love it. So now what I can do, let's go ahead. I am going to cut off this end piece because it's not going to work. And I don't know how I messed that up from the beginning. I think it was because I was talking. I mean, y'all saw me measure. Oh, goodness. You know what I did? I know what exactly I didn't. I know exactly what I did. I didn't measure right when I went to cut it in half. It should have been 23 and a half. Let's see, 23 and 23, that's 46 to 47. No, it should have been 24 and a half. That'd be 28. Yeah, it should have been 24 and a half, and I measured 25 and a half. Oh, blame it on the early morning. Oh, you love the rooster, Miss Lori. Thank you. All right, so I can pull this apart for a minute, and let's cut off this excess. You all mute your sound for a minute, hold your ears, whatever you need to do. I've got to bring out the saw one more time. And I do want to make sure, I think my paint, it's not completely dry. I don't want to rub that saw right over it. So what I'm going to do is take that paper towel and I'm just going to blot it so that if there is any wet paint there, I've dabbed it up. All right. So now here we go. Hold your ears. Here we go. We did it. We did it. We did it. Doesn't matter that we had to cut it twice, right? That's going to look awesome. Okay, so now we have to put a backer piece on this in some way. Good morning, Miss Penny. How are you? Good morning, Vicki. Love it. Start the day with power tools, right, Dawn? No, this is not every day, so don't be fooled. Okay, here I've got a couple options here for the back. I do have another piece of scrap wood. Literally, scrap wood that was over here in my shed. This was here when we moved in. And I think one side's white, one side's natural. I think I'm going to use 2 strips of this. I need one on each side, sort of as braces on the back. And then we'll screw this into the brace. So I just need 2 short pieces that will make sure I don't knock anything over here. And I'm going to put it on the back, but right now I'm going to use the top for measuring. Okay, so these don't have to be the same length. So we'll cut one and then we'll use that as our guide for the next ones. I just need 2. I don't need that scrap wood. I pulled that out because I thought I might need it. So I had a little extra piece sitting over there. Okay. We're going to need a drill here in a minute. And we do have extra time this morning. Miss Liz is sick and she was supposed to be up after me. So we've got time this morning. Oh, thank you, Miss Beth. Thank you. Well, this way. This is to kind of help give a little bit extra more shade when the sun rises over the tall trees in the front corner of our house. The sun beams on this part of the chicken run, and so that's their extra shade for right now until we get a little roof put on there closer to fall. Good morning, Miss Cindy. Hey, Debbie. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is a super long piece of trim work. I guess this was some extra trim, I think, left over from the basement when they were putting trim in the basement. And they left it here. And so, hey, we're using scrap wood today. All right, sorry I did not give you warning on that. All right. Now we need one more. We're going to do the same length so that even from the back, it'll still be pretty. Okay, we're going to cut one more. Here we go. We don't want to cut the cords. Wouldn't that be a sight? Bloopers of big blooper. All right, let me line it up. And here we go. We are done with the saw. Let me make sure I don't get my cord all tangled up here with the saw. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and get the saw off the table so that it's not taking up space. We're done with this piece of scrap wood. I'll get it later. Okay, so here's what we're going to do here. We're going to flip this sign over. Hopefully everything's dry. Okay. Well, you see, I had good intentions with this piece of barnwood. I think I was using it as something in my home decor at one time because I have one of these little Scotch or 3M Velcro hooks. Okay, we're flipping it over to the back, and on the back side, I think I'm going to go with the natural side facing up like that. That's going to be our brackets. Let's see, I don't want it showing. There's a little knot in my hole right there. So this is going to be my brackets on the back. That's basically going to hold these two pieces of wood together. We got to pre-drill some holes. I have some screws somewhere. Where'd they go? They may have fell off the table. Oh, there they are, under my paper towel there. I have screws that will work perfect. I had to measure the width of my boards here. Why won't this open all the way? Come on. All right, so once again, just measure the thickness of your wood. Make sure it goes all the way through and that it's not too long. There you go. Make sure it's not too long that it'll go through all the way through your other piece. We don't want this showing through the front, okay? We're going to screw this in from the back. And let's pre-drill some holes, and that will sort of hopefully prevent our wood from splitting when we go to drill. If we were to take these screws and drill them straight in, our wood would split or splinter, and we want to prevent that from happening. So we're going to drill some holes. All right, there's one. Now the trick here is not to move your board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two lines. That way if my board does get nudged in any way, I'll be able to line it back up, hopefully. I should have drawn a line at the top and the bottom too. Oh well. Okay, now I've got to put my other drill bit back in so that I can drill my screws in. All right, we're going to go right in the top. Easy peasy. You'll know the rest. Okay, now let's go over to the next board. We're going to pre-drill our holes once again. Good morning, Miss Beth. You got 7.5 inches of rain last night. Oh my gracious. Oh, Beth. Oh, goodness. Prayers. Goodness, that's awful. Okay. It's not going to budge. Here we go. Good morning, Miss Kathy. How are you? How many of y'all are already up and watching this morning at 6:30? I love it. I love it. This is going on all day long over in the Craft on the Clock group. If you've got a lot of scrap wood to use, come check us out. You can find us if you're not a member already. Just request to join. I'll get you approved in a little bit when I get it back over there. But we've got scrap wood craft projects coming up all day long. Look at that! We did it! We did it! And it was all made out of scrap wood. Scrap trim, scrap barnwood. Ah! This would be adorable propped up in a garden. You wouldn't even have to hang it. Now, I'm sitting here thinking about what kind of hanger can I put on the back of this. In my mind, I was thinking about possibly just drilling 2 holes in the top and putting a wire hanger on it. I did not think to bring any wire out here with me. But I'm going to go ahead and drill 2 holes at the top for that wire hanger. Oh, excuse me. That way, whenever I do get my wire out here and on here, I'll have a spot for it. Good morning, Miss Phyllis from North Texas. How are you, friend? Kathy, good morning. You love it? I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect. All right, I do kind of want to make sure that it's somewhat, I'm not going for exact measurement here. It's just shy of 24 inches. So the middle point let's go with 24. Let's scoot that up. I hear a hummingbird buzzing by my head. Let's mark the center point. The center point is 12. And let's see. We could do a hole at the 6 and the 18. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I feel like a mosquito is getting my leg. My wood is chipping apart here. Okay, I hear you, buddy. I hear you. I hear you. I'm not even going to worry with getting it just right from the top here. We're just going to eyeball that. I'm trying to think in my head, what do I have that I can use as a hanger right now without having to dig too hard. I did not even think about my wire. So there, I've got 2 holes at the top that I can string some wire to make it a hanger. Let's see. Good morning, Beth. Tell us where you are. Tell us where you are. I don't know. I have not honestly been keeping up with the weather. I know Hurricane Debbie is making its pathway, and I think that's what's disturbing weather for a lot of you. But I haven't been keeping up with where the pathway is today. Good morning, Miss Sandra. Etsy, yes, Etsy. Miss Frances was my inspiration for this project. She used the same stencil on a project with some sunflowers a year or so ago, and she purchased it on Etsy. And go to Etsy and type in vintage garden stencil. And I bet it'll pull up. I bet it'll pull up. Watching from Australia. Well, Miss Linda, good morning from Kentucky in the U.S. It's probably early afternoon where you're at, or maybe noon. I can't remember. Sunny and beautiful today, high in the 70s. That sounds amazing. It was chilly here too, Becca. I don't know where you're from, but it was cool this morning. I almost went back in and put jeans on when I came out this morning. Good morning, Miss Deborah. I think it's super easy. So if you're a newbie at stencils, I think this would totally be a project that is very forgiving enough to, to give it a try. I mean, this is like a weathered, and I will give it a spray coat of clear matte sealer, just to kind of hold the paint on a little bit better. I don't want any kind of shine to it. I want to keep the rusticness of the barnwood. And I like the weathered look of the white paint that we used on there. Good morning, Miss Kathy from Maryland. Well, we could, no, I don't want to let the chickens out too much. The sun is just popping over. I see the sun gleaming. We might just do a little walk around since we have a little bit of extra time this morning. You love it? Good. Let me close up my screws here because I don't want to spill those out. But you can see, I don't know if I have a place to prop it up, but this would look cute as, instead of a little, like a shelf leaner. You see crafters make all the time little tucks, like shelf tucks or shelf leaners. This could be a little garden leaner, or you could put it on a post, or prop it up in the garden. I've got some zinnias down here that are about to bloom, so I'm a little hesitant. Let's see. It might get hidden down here too, but I kind of like it tucked in, but that zinnia right there is going to block your view. But it looks kind of cool tucked in down there at the bottom. I was going to kind of hang it on the fence, but I think I like it right there too. Good morning. Thank you, Miss Sue. It was super easy. I used a scrap piece of barnwood, which you could use any kind of scrap wood. It doesn't have to be old. A scrap piece of barnwood that I've been holding on to forever, and a stencil that I've had tucked away for over a year with this project in mind all along, but I've just never done it. So that's why I kind of wanted to challenge you all today. Let's just let's go for a walk. Go for a walk. The sun's coming up, so we can go take a peek at the sun popping up and chit chat this morning. Looks so pretty. You like it, Dee Dee? Let me see here. Face it down this way. I just propped it up right there. Now that's little zinnia right here is in the way. Don't mind the grass because I planted a whole pack of wildflowers. Like literally, I sowed tons of wildflowers, and there's not hardly any of them coming up except for the zinnias. And a lot of grass, but I didn't want to mow it down because I wasn't sure, what was grass and what could possibly be a wildflower. So, let me see. Ooh, don't want to zoom in on me. I think so too, Patty. I think it's perfect. So let's walk around. I kind of wanted you all to see the sun kind of peeking over. So I'm going to flip my camera around if I can. Let's see. Good morning, Miss Lori. Good morning, Belinda. Oh goodness. There we go. This is the back corner of the yard, so you don't want to see all the ugly stuff, but looking at the sun popping up over here. The sun is popping up. We're just going to do a quick walk around. Hey, Miss Francis. So the sunrise, I think we've already missed the sunrise. The sun is already up, but let's see. There we go. You can see it. I love it because it kind of sets a glow. We're walking around the front corner. Oh, there's the sun. Let's see. There's the sun. It's already up in the trees over here. Y'all don't mind my Lowe's bucket there. That's for my house washing. I'm fixing to wash the siding of our house this weekend while the weather is cool. So I've already got my brush and my bucket all ready to go there. But the sun is peeking up. Let's focus it right there. Maybe. I don't know if my lighting is going to focus right there. Thank you, Miss Carol. Rainy in West Virginia. Oh, goodness. I know lots of you are going to be getting rain. Just know that you all are in our prayers. So I did finally find a spot for my little water garden here. I am so backwards. Let me flip my camera back around, because otherwise I'm going to be going every which direction. So I did get my little bucket set up. It's not in an ideal location because it gets too much sun, but I think it's fine for now. This is about the only place I could, find that I thought it fit in. So back at the corner of the yard, we do have a swing that was already here when we moved in, but that's there at the edge of the woods. The hummingbirds are zooming around, but I just felt like it kind of fit in with the vibe over here. So I left it here, and I think I'm liking it. I haven't buried my cords yet because I wasn't quite for sure if I liked it there or not yet, but that's what we're going with for now. And I would show you my front porch, but I'm telling you, I've got the leaf blower. Like, I'm ready for a weekend full of projects. Let me flip the camera back around. Ready for a weekend full of outdoor projects because it's actually going to be cool here this weekend. And I've got everything on the porch. Like, I've got lists for the jobs for the kids today. And we're going to get busy doing some things while it's cool. I have a whole row of hostas. You will probably see them right there behind me. That whole row of hostas I'm digging up this weekend. I've already dug up one whole row when it was cooler about a month or so ago, month and a half. So it's going to be cool this weekend. All the rest of those are coming out and putting mulch down, and new plants are going in. Thank you. Love the swing. It is. I almost wondered if it was too loud, the fountain, but I like it. I do like it. But we've got so many jobs, so many things to do around outside that we've been wanting to do since we moved in. So the weather's going to be nice. We're going to take advantage of it. House washing is on my list this weekend, and digging up the hostas over there. And then you're from Kentucky. It is. It's going to be amazing, isn't it, Crystal? Yes, that's what we have in mind too. Is doing things outside. And then we had. Let me see if I can tilt this where you all can see it. Straight down the driveway that direction, there were 3 huge tree stumps, that were there when we moved in. And we didn't, they were just huge. And we knew we needed to get rid of them. So about a month and a half ago, I guess it was, or a month ago, we had a man come out and he ground the stumps down. And so we have 3 huge piles of mulch that we've got to get dug up and out of the yard right there so that the grass can go ahead and start filling in before fall. So we're using that mulch and repurposing it around the perimeter of the sidewalks and things. So that's on the kids' job to do today, this weekend, is to move mulch. Move the mulch. And then, I don't know if I'll get to it this weekend, but that huge mound right there in the center, I'm guessing there used to be a tree there in the center there. I don't know for sure. Something was there, a flower bed of some sort. But there's vinca vine that was planted there, and it has literally taken over. We also had a little tree stump right here that we just got ground down. So the grass is starting to fill in there. Our grass got so high 2 weeks ago because we had tons of rain, and we weren't able to even mow. So we've got a few spots that the grass has to be raked. So that's on the list this weekend. We've got lots of stuff to do. So, we've got a fence line to clear, which my husband has, he bought some sort of hedge clear attachment to put on his weed eater. So it's sitting on the porch ready to go. We're going to be getting busy and staying dirty all weekend long. So, hey, Miss Julia. Let's see if we can pan around. Let's see. I'm just working on building up the rock border. You can see a little bit right here. This this whole area had a real shallow border, a rock border around the edge of it. And it had been almost buried in the grass and the dirt. So I have been digging up, repositioning rocks and building up a second layer. So you can kind of see the difference of what it was. See, this is real low. You can't hardly even see the rock border. And down here, I'm starting to build it up where it's a little more substantial. And clearing the edge, making it look a little bit more, I don't know, put together a little bit. It's never ending, right, Patty? It's right, never ending. Let's see. Country living. Yeah, that's right. That's right. This is the way we wanted it. And I love it because, right now at our other house, we would hear constant traffic noise at this time of the morning. And you all hear Nyla over there. She's saying, I want attention. I want attention. I hear you, Nyla girl. The highway would be buzzing at this time of the day. And here you might hear a car or two, but right now it's peaceful. We've got the birds chirping in the background. Of course, we've got the rooster and Nyla going this morning, but a soft sound of the trickle of the water, and we're just hanging out here. There's Tom. There's Tom. He's letting us know he's still there. You grew up in Southwest Virginia. Awesome. Virginia is a beautiful state. Very beautiful. Mountainous, yes. So we have another creator. Well, we have creators lined up every 45 minutes this weekend. So with the scrapwood projects. So the roosters, the chickens, they're wanting out. I don't let them out this early because you all saw my picture on my page a couple days ago. What I was finding, some of my chickens had been laying eggs under the lawnmower. Under the lawnmower. We're going to sit on the swing. And so I had, I usually don't let them out very early. Usually I feed them and, let's see if I can set that down. Feed them, and then they're in the coop until around at least around 1:30ish, and then I let them out because usually they're pretty much done laying eggs at that point, right? And so I chuckled because time before last when I got the lawnmower out, I pulled it out and there was, I don't remember if there was 1 or 2 eggs under there, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's so funny, and didn't think anything about it. And of course, this time it was longer in between mowings because I told you we had so much rain. So this time when I pulled the mower out, there were 7 eggs under the lawnmower. And I know there has been a chicken when we let them out that she runs straight to the shed every time. And she actually did lay an egg in there, just wasn't under the lawnmower because I watched her the other day. And I thought, oh my gosh, but I have not been seeing any of them go under the back side of the lawnmower. But they sure enough, they had been crawling under the lawnmower and laying an egg under there. And I'm guessing she's been doing it every day. I had 7 under there, and it had been about a week or longer since I had used the mower last. So I don't know. I think she waits until I let them out, and she is the only one that I think every day, I think she goes straight to that spot and was laying an egg. So, crazy things. How are they under? Well, Jenny, they're not like under the lawnmower deck. They were going around the back side of the lawnmower and just crawling under the back, like under where the motor is on the back side. And so it's a little bit higher. They could actually crawl under it without it being too much of an issue. But it was just enough under it to where it was out of my sight where I couldn't see it. They're so funny. They are such characters. I would let them out, but I don't like to let them out this early. For one, the whole egg laying situation, they'll lay eggs everywhere. And for 2, there are still predators out, even though, like raccoons and possums and, owls are typically more nighttime creatures. They're still out and about this early. They still are. And so I just don't like to let them roam this early. So that's usually why I let them wait. Swinging, right? I don't want to swing too much. I might make you all dizzy. She needs her privacy. Well, Tammy, well, here's another thing. The other day, I let the chickens out, and was it yesterday or the day before? It was the day before, when we first started getting some cool air in. And I said, I have got to clean the chicken coop out. You know, I've been saying the next cool weather day that I can do it, I've got to clean the chicken coop out. So I did. I cleaned it all out, put new bedding in there, scooped and cleaned everything out, and put new fresh bedding in. And while I was in there, I kind of rearranged their nesting boxes a little bit, because they've been wanting to lay in one corner of the coop that doesn't even have a nesting box in it. I mean, they're using the nesting boxes, but they're also using this corner. And when I went to scoop out the bedding, I found like 4 or 5 eggs that were hidden under the wood chips. You know, just from where they kind of scratched out their little spot, you know, they would eventually cover them up. And I thought, okay, I've got to do better with this. So I rearranged the nesting boxes to what I thought, you know, would suit them better. Well, they were out roaming around, and came nightfall, you know, I was outside waiting for them to go in the coop so that I could close the door and call it night, right? Well, I guess they had not been in there during the day to realize what I had done. So they freaked out. When they went to go into the coop that night, it was dark enough inside that they couldn't really tell they just knew something was different, but they couldn't see it well enough to feel safe to go inside. It took me over an hour to convince them to go in. I had to go in, I had to turn the lights on the inside of the coop, and I basically had, some of them had already, were trying to go to sleep on the roosting bar out in the open area. And I had to literally pick them up and put them in the coop door, the little tiny coop door. And once they started to see what was in there, I had to leave the lights on inside. They slowly made their way back in, but I thought they were never going to go in. I threw them all off that day. So anyway, you just never know. They're so crazy. Hey, Miss Debbie. Hey, Linda. Let's see. We are just chatting and spending the morning together. Our next creator will go live at 7:30 a.m. Central Time over in the Craft on the Clock group for Scrapwood Craft Day. And then we have a crafter lined up every 45 minutes with a new Scrapwood project. So if you're just tuning in, you've missed my project. We did that first thing, but I'll show you again here in a minute what we did. I'll show you again here in a minute. Most people wait to let the chickens out for that reason. That's right. You have to. Exactly, Sheila. Exactly. Gotta keep them safe around here. Hey, Miss Debbie. Everyone, get their scrap wood ready. You got it, Jeanette. You got it. I know. If you don't have scrap wood, here's the thing. You can get wood pieces, scrap wood pieces, at construction sites. A lot of times they're throwing them out and they have a big scrap wood pile. You know, I just go and ask for some. Let's see. Do I have any outdoor wooden eggs? I do. I sure do, Andrea. I have fake eggs in each one of the nesting boxes. And they use the nesting boxes. They do, but they also like to use a corner. And so I added 2 more nesting boxes, and they are positioned in the area of the corner that they kept wanting to lay. So, well, Kathy, they didn't even see the nesting boxes. I think they were just, I had big clumps of bedding, you know, like the pine chips. And I think that was what was freaking them out. They were seeing the big clumps. And I've done it before. I usually leave the clumps, you know. I'll spread it out a little bit, but I'll put the clumps out. And they like to go in and scratch it around and throw it and, you know, make their own little nest, so to speak. And it just threw them off. The lighting is what threw them off. It was too dark in there. Hey, my shirt. This is what you're going to do with all that junk. I can't even tell you where I bought it. I've had it for so long. This is just one of my yard shirts. It's just a comfy old yard shirt. I am a shorts and t-shirt kind of girl. I am not anything fancy. On most days, we keep it simple around here. Tim took some fake eggs from our daughter's coop, thinking they were real. He came inside and showed me. That's funny, Yvonne. Well, it's some of our fake eggs. They're not wooden, but I guess they're maybe porcelain. I don't know. They're not ceramic. I don't know. They look so real that we have to make sure that we're not getting the fake eggs when we pull them out, because they look just like the real thing. Grandpa worked in a lumber yard, so you had free. Oh, Jeanette, that's awesome. That is awesome. Mostly cotton shorts and a tee. You got it, Jenny. Today is going to be a yard day, and that's pretty much the way I roll around here. Flip-flops, t-shirt, and shorts. They do. So I bought this new thing on Amazon. So I'm in some of these chicken groups on Facebook, right? And, a lot of them were saying how hard it is to peel the shell on hard-boiled eggs that are fresh, right? And I've been wanting to boil some eggs. I like hard-boiled eggs as a snack even, or in the salad or things like that. And sometimes my husband will take them in his lunch for work. And I haven't boiled any of our farm eggs yet. But I kept seeing where everybody was complaining, what do you do to peel these shells off, So I bought, somebody was recommending this Dash egg cooker off Amazon. It was only like $14-ish, I think. And it's a little tiny little thing. And this woman says, I swear by it. She goes, I'll never cook eggs any other way again. And so I was like, I'm going to try it. And so I bought it. And last night, I pulled it out, and I was like, we didn't make a full-blown dinner last night. We just kind of did a free-for-all kind of thing. Warm-ups, whatever you want to make kind of meal last night. Everybody was kind of on their own. And so I was going to hard-boil some eggs and eat some squash and fresh tomatoes. Just kind of keep it simple. And for me. And so I thought, I'm going to try this egg cooker out. I got it out, and that thing is so cool. I'm going to have to show you all what it does. It's like the neatest little thing. It kind of looks like something from the 60s. I don't know, the way it's styled. It looks so cute. But you just put your eggs in it, and you put in a certain amount of water, turn it on, and it boils them. Yeah, they're always at room temperature. I keep my eggs on the counter. And then put them in there, and it cooks them in. It's like easy breezy. You just put a little bit of water in them, put your eggs in there, and turn it on, and it cooks them right up. It doesn't stink up the house. That's what my daughter said last night. She goes, I love that thing because it doesn't make the house smell like eggs. She can't stand the smell of eggs. You have an egg maker too, Tiffany? Awesome. It's teeny tiny, so it doesn't take up much counter space. I can tuck it in a cabinet when I'm not using it. So like, it's my new find that I'm crazy about. You have 2 of those? Awesome. I guess I'm just late to the game on finding out about these things. So it's even something that like, it cooks them like so quick, and like as soon as you take them out, I just put them in like in a little bowl and put some cold water on them to cool them down. But I could whip out a little batch of 6 boiled eggs in like a matter of just like 10 or 15 minutes. Hey, Sherry. Yes, it does. It makes them, I don't know, I guess it cooks them at just the right temperature and just the right length, that they peel so easy. Like, I had no trouble. My youngest son, Sawyer, I even got him on them last night. And he's never had hard-boiled eggs. He loves scrambled eggs. But he got curious last night. I'm not even going to tell you what time it was when we were making another batch of those last night. We were up at 1:30 last night, y'all. I've been working on my jar orders, trying to get them out and finished. I'm like, I'm just going to keep on going. Like, usually I have crashed at like 10 o'clock or 10:30, But I got them pulled out and made some, and he came in there. He goes, how do you peel these things? And so I showed him. Yes, I got it on Amazon. You have one too, Tammy? That's awesome. Why hasn't anybody told me this amazing news before? So I'm sharing the news with you all if you don't have one and you like hard-boiled eggs. But you can also make poached eggs in it as well. And omelets. I love making omelets, and I usually just make them in a skillet. And probably still will. But it is possible that you can make them, different ways. Not just hard-boiled. But it's the coolest thing. And I've, been missing out all this time. I know that Dash is the brand, Sheila. Dash, D-A-S-H, I believe. So just go to Amazon and search Dash egg cooker, and you'll probably find it. It's not very expensive. I can't remember exactly. I want to say it was maybe like $14 or $15. But it looks like it's a little circular thing, and it has like a little clear globe-looking lid on the top. I'll find the link for you, and I'll post it. I thought about doing a little video on it at some point this weekend. You got a Ninja Foodie that you put a half a cup of water and 1 to 12 eggs set on pressure cooker. Awesome! I didn't know that. I have an Instapot, and I think you can do that the same thing in Instapot. But my Instapot's too big. I'm not gonna do eggs in it unless I make a whole dozen or 2 dozen for like deviled eggs or something. Yeah, you get fresh eggs from your chiropractor. Yes, look at that Dash egg cooker. I think so. I think it's all you have to pipe in. Do they have other products, Cheryl? I have never heard of them. That's it, Jeanette. That's it. Thank you. It is. It's like an aqua color, mine is. But I think you can get them in other colors. But I think aqua was the only one that I saw when I purchased mine. Okay. I've never seen them here, Patty. That's awesome. You love your foodie. That's awesome. Okay, I will, Becca, because it's pretty cool. I have not made an omelet yet, and I love omelets. So maybe another morning we'll do a breakfast. We'll do a breakfast video. I would take you in there right now, but my kids are not that I would probably wake them up, but I can't even remember what condition I left my kitchen in last night. We were up at 1:30 last night, and I was making another batch of those eggs. And I ate some hard-boiled. I don't eat the yolks because the yolks kind of sometimes bother my stomach a little bit. And so I was like, I don't want to take a chance. I don't want to have a bunch, a big stomach ache through the night and then not be able to sleep and get up early, since I was going to be up early this morning. You'd like to see it? Okay, I'll show you. I'll definitely do a little video on it and show you what it looks like. But it's the coolest little thing. Eggs are hard to get here. And avian flu going through. Oh my goodness, Jacqueline. Really? You found them through Weight Watchers, a hot air cooker. Okay, that's awesome. I've got paint on my fingers. Yes, you can make poached eggs and omelets as well as the hard-boiled eggs. You're right. I'm going to try it on an omelet probably this morning. I've got some fresh peppers, of course, fresh tomatoes, and I always like to throw in some mushrooms and cheese in my omelets too. So I'm probably going to make me a quick omelet this morning after I get off here. Our next creator is going to be starting at 7:30, and then we had one of our creators sick this morning. She woke up sick, so otherwise I probably wouldn't have started live so early. I did not check my messages this morning. I just got up and thought, whoa, I gotta get hauling this morning. I didn't even think to check my messages this morning. Okay. Are any of you hopping on now and didn't see the sign that we made? I might need to walk back over there and show you the sign. It's a little humid out here this morning. Not terrible, but it's just the morning air. Hey, Miss Darla. Off to work, everyone. Thank you so much, Miss Jeanette. Miss Jeanette yeah, you're right. You're on the lineup tonight. I can't wait to see what you're doing. Your hubby has been making the most adorable Halloween, little wood lanterns. Those are so cute. I love those. Cheryl, they have a full line of appliances. I did not know that. You're a breakfast girl, Becca? I think I could too. I think I could eat almost breakfast at any time of the day. I really do. You didn't see the sign? Well, let's walk back over. Let's walk back over to the chicken coop. Because we were live over at the chicken coop this morning, bright and early at 6 a.m. So some of y'all are probably just waking up. So let's head back over. Let's head back over. Y'all can see the sun. Isn't that pretty? I just love the view of that sun just peeping over the hill. And then we're tucked back here in the woods. So the sun has yet to reach back here. I'm just going to show y'all the trees up here. Woo-hoo-hoo. Let's see. There you go. The sun is just reaching the top of those trees up there, and those are massive trees, you guys. I'm not good at estimating height, but they are super tall. That's where y'all like my setup this morning? That's what it looks like out here this morning. So let me prop my camera back up here. Tom has been kind of quiet. He's not been crowing too much. I tucked it in. Oh, down there at the bottom. Right down there. Right down there. That's where I propped it. I was going to hang it on the fence, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it propped down there and the flowers kind of tucked in. But we used some scrap barnwood pieces. We gotta flip the camera back around. There we go. Oop, I hit it too many times. There we go. A vintage garden sign made out of some just scrap barnwood pieces. One scrap wood barn piece. Cut it in half. We used a stencil that I've had for over a year. Had it for over a year, literally, no joke. Frances can vouch for that. She was my inspiration, and she probably knows when she did that project. But she got me hooked on that stencil, and I purchased it on Etsy. But I used a piece of scrap trim wood. Oops, sorry about that. Scrap trim wood to make 2 brackets for the backside. And I have used this piece of barnwood for something else because I have these little 3M Velcro hooks on the back. But drilled 2 holes in the top so I could put a hanger on it at some point, a little wire hanger if I wanted to. Or I can just prop it up in the garden. I love it. Just so simple. So simple. Hey, Miss. Oh, goodness. It scrolled right out of my sight. Edna, good morning. Glad you're here. So you'll have to go back and watch. The project is at the beginning of the video. And then the second half of the video, we've just been chatting and catching up because one of our creators woke up sick and not feeling well this morning. So I have filled in her spot too. Let's see. Thank you, Miss Darla. You like it? You could put a stake on it so that it stands up a little bit taller. Yeah, you're right. That would be a cute idea. In my mind, I was just thinking I was going to hang it, you know. Let's see. Y'all are talking about where you're at. Some of you are making connections. Thank you, Miss Sherry. How are you, friend? Yes, the project's at the beginning. We've just been chatting and catching up this morning. Good morning, Miss Irma. So, are y'all having your coffee? Are you out of the bed yet? Are you excited for the weekend? Who are the coffee drinkers right now? I bet probably 99% of y'all are coffee drinkers. I'm the 1% that's not a coffee drinker. Is anybody else like me? I just don't do coffee. I love the smell of it. Barbed wire. That would be a good idea. I think we do have some old fencing wire that's in one of these barn sheds or that I saw the other day. And I think it is rusty. I'll have to look at that. Thank you, Miss Brooke. Almost done with your first cup of coffee. I know Sheila's a coffee drinker. No coffee. Sherry, you don't like coffee either. I love the smell of it. Oh, darling, you don't drink coffee either. Okay, well, maybe there's more of you here than I thought that don't do coffee. Sherry, So if you don't drink coffee, do you drink something else in the morning? I'm just like straight up water. I've really almost given up everything as far as like drink wise go. I really just kind of stick with water. My daughter, I'm going to tell you something. So if you're like me, I'm not usually one that like gets on like a bandwagon of anything, right? I don't typically follow the trends. I just find stuff that I like, and if it happens to be on trend, then good. Right? But I know probably many of you have been seeing like the Stanley cups, right? I thought, what is all the hype about these Stanley cups? They've been around for ages. I didn't think about it. I wasn't going to spend the money on a Stanley cup. So my daughter bought me a Stanley cup for Mother's Day. She got on the little hook. She got on the bandwagon of the Stanley cups. And so she bought me one for Mother's Day. And I'm going to tell you, I said, so you're going to put me in the Cool Moms Club now, right? I love my Stanley cup because if any of you are like me, I like to drink. I mean, I can drink water, no problem, but it has to be cold. Like, I like ice cold, whether it's tea, milk, anything that I drink. I like it cold. And I know that's probably not good for you, right? I hear all the time that you should drink like things that aren't cold. Warm or room temperature. I just can't do it. I just can't. And so she got me one of these Stanley cups, and I can fill it with ice and water. And I'm telling you, it is like a complete game changer. Like, it's something that I tote around with me all the time. I'll tote my phone and my Stanley cup everywhere I go. And I'll just fill it with ice water all the time. And it will stay cold forever. And even overnight, I'll set it on my nightstand, and it's cold. If I need a drink, it's cold. Like, it's like a complete game changer for me. And I've never had a cup like that. I've had lots of other cups that keep things cold, but not Stanley cold. It's completely different. If you have one, you completely know. And I completely understand where all the hype is coming from now. Water has to be ice cold for you too. Yes, me too. Exactly. That's exactly the way I have to have it. It's just ice cold. My daughter gave you one too, but it doesn't. I find it doesn't keep ice as long as my Bubba does. And I have not tried one of those, Sherry. I haven't tried one of those. But I drink my water fast enough that my ice is still in here. Like, I have never had a drink, cooler, cup, whatever you want to call it, that keeps things as cold as this one does. You drink your water cold too, Vicky. You're a Brewmate fan. Spill proof, keeps things hot or cold 24/7. Dana, I'll have to look into those too. You have 1 cup of coffee, and then it's tea for you. Can you please decorate and grunge an old tea kettle? Ooh, I do have a tea kettle. I don't think that I would ever grunge it though. I can't. I would have to find one like at the thrift store or something, right? Because the one I found in one of my one of the barns on my granddad's farm, and I'm sure it was something he probably bought at an auction. But I usually style it. I actually have it sitting on top of my TV cabinet in my living room. I usually style it with like some greenery or some fall florals or something like that. So I can't stand to grunge it, but I'll have to find one. If I find one, I will do that. Scrolling back down. I have not checked for eggs yet. You want to go in and check for eggs with me? Well, let's do it. We've got 9 minutes. Let's do it. I'm going to grab a drink first, though. Gotta hydrate. I have not had one of those little... Let's turn the lights off now. I did not anticipate having to bring my lights out this morning because I thought it was going to be bright enough. Right now is when I thought it was about the lighting that I thought it was going to be this morning at 6 a.m. And it's 7:20 here now. So let's go check. Let's go check for some eggs. Let's go check for some eggs. Hopefully they don't come in and like, y'all see my little, my little vintage nesting box. I filled it with flowers and hang it on the side of the chicken coop. It's a little dark in here right now, but let's see if my eyes have to adjust a second. Y'all hear Tom. I don't know if I'll be able to see. I mean, it's real shaded back here on the back part of where the coop opens up to, and so it hasn't really got bright enough in here yet. Let's see. No eggs. Nope, no eggs yet. They'll probably get busy here in a minute though, because usually it's not uncommon for me to have 11 eggs by 11 o'clock. Isn't that crazy? But I usually don't let them, they're usually still closed in here. I usually don't let them out in the run this early, but they will. They'll start laying here in just a little bit. Let's see. I've never had a Yeti, but I've heard good things about Yeti. You're made up of 90% coffee, Sandra. Coffee for you, 2 cups a day. My mom and dad are huge coffee drinkers. My husband has he does a cup of coffee a day. Let's see. Thank you, Miss Darla. You have a Stanley, an Ozark Trail, and a wellness one. All 3 keep ice, but Stanley does the best. Oh, I'm convinced, like I'm hooked. I'm hooked on the Stanleys now. If my ice maker in my fridge dies, I would have a new fridge with it. Right? I've got to have ice. I'm such a, I don't know. Thank you, Miss Kelly. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're loving it here. And, it's just our little spot in the world carved out just for us. My wildflowers didn't quite pop up as I had hoped. Now I do have some zinnias that are getting ready to pop right here, but this is the first season I've had, the first planting season. The sun's just shining through the trees over there, and I wasn't for sure, how much sunlight certain areas get. So going forward, I'll kind of know, how to judge, what needs to be planted where, what doesn't do well here, what does, that kind of thing. But definitely the front half of this gets the most sun, and you can tell this is where everything is huge and flowering, minus the areas that the chickens like to snack on. But yeah, this front half, I did have some zinnias that are popping up and they're getting ready to bloom. But the back half of that, behind this tall plant, behind this tall planter right here, it's kind of bare and sparse back there. So I'll have to find some more, some different kind of shade-loving type plants that'll work back there. Thank you, Miss Mary Lou. I had to have flowers, and we really have a ton of shade back here in the backyard. And so, I had to figure out where I was going to put things. And so it's kind of fun. I already kind of have some things in mind next year that I'll change and do differently. And, kind of have a better idea of where I want to plant things. You have a cheap one from the Dollar General that keeps ice great. I love it and have had it over. Oh, that's a good deal, Anita. That's a great deal. Do I find snakes in the chicken coop? Miss Jenny? No, we have not yet. Knock on wood. We have not. I mean, back early in the spring, we had a snake that was showing up everywhere. And I'm pretty convinced it was the same one I was seeing. And I was sharing that with photos and videos with you all back earlier in the spring. And I haven't seen her back yet since. So I think I took care of her. I think I ran over her. Sorry, no guilt here. How to take care of business when it comes to snakes around here. I am not a snake fan. Now, my husband, on the other hand, he would have taken care of it only because it was crawling up into the the soffit area of our house. That's the only reason why he would have taken care of it. Otherwise, he would have left it alone or moved it. And I'm like, She was big. I'm like, no. I said, I told him this much. I said, we will have snakes get into our chicken coop. And that's usually why we come out and check for eggs several times throughout the day. I just don't want to take a chance. You remember? Melinda, your name rings a bell. I think I messaged you back. I hope so. If you place an order, I have been working. I was blessed with orders, way more than I anticipated and a lot of time for. So I was up until 1:30 last night working on finishing up some orders, and hopefully I'm going to be doing more today and getting those out, because I've got some outside stuff I'm wanting to get done this week. But yes, let's see. All shade. Yeah, oh, I'd love to know. We have Boston ferns, hostas, azaleas, astilbe. There's a few other little things that have popped up that were already planted here for shade. But back here by the chicken coop, it was completely bare, like nothing. And it was just an eyesore, and it looks out from our kitchen. It looks out from our master bedroom. And I was like, okay, I got to pretty that space up. And it's right out here where we have a fire pit and things. And I was like, I can't have it an eyesore. So I had to put in some pretty flowers. Some of your cats like to sleep in. Oh, that's sweet, Teresa. That's awesome. I wondered if cats would bother chickens. Miss Dana, the vintage Soul Sister shirts, they're going to be available for ordering on August 15th. Well, my alarm is going off. That means it's time. It's time for our next creator. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy Scrapwood Craft Day. I love my little vintage garden sign. And thank you all for hanging out with me so bright and early this morning. If you missed that project, you can go back and catch the replay at the beginning, where you can... we whooped out the power tools this morning at 6 a.m. Love you guys. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you again very soon. Enjoy the day.